Okay guys, today I'm gonna demo a dashcam that fits in any car, any model, any year. Coming up. Today I'd like to demo this hand-picked car dashcam as I promised in my last video. It's made by the company VanTrue. I contacted them and asked them to send me one to review for all of my viewers, to which the company gladly agreed. The model is VanTrue X4S Dual. Dual means it has both front and rear cameras. So now the first question is, why did I pick that particular model? And I will review some other models as well, but this one caught my eye because it has all the 12 features that every dashcam must have that I explained in my previous video. The link is below in the description area. So here are the 12 reasons to consider VanTrue X4S for your car. It has both front and rear cameras. It can record both video and sound. It records automatically. It has loop recording. Front camera is in 4K high resolution and rear camera is 1080p HD. Cameras have wide-angle lenses. Cameras have night vision sensors. It can be controlled, set and viewed from the smartphone. This dashcam uses a capacitor instead of lithium-ion battery. It comes with the parking mode security with the G sensor. You can get optionally GPS locator, and the dashcam must be less expensive than most original manufacturer ones. This dashcam comes in this nice package, so let's open it. It comes with these two warning stickers in two different languages that you can attach to your car windows. I think the second sticker is in German, so let me try my best to pronounce it. Beschutz! I think just the sticker itself is worth all the money. This model comes with this quick start guide, but the operation is fairly easy, as I'm about to show you. It also comes with the full user manual if you like to read stuff. I like the fact that all the cables come with the USB Type-C connector, which is the latest and fastest for a video signal. This one connects the front to the rear camera. That's a rear camera. It's very small and connects to just one single USB cable, so you don't have to mess with any other wires. In addition, it comes with this little double tape and one spare. So you can easily attach it to the rear window, which I'll show you a little later. And here is the front camera, which looks very promising. I like the 3-inch ISP display, which you can use to monitor both cameras while driving. And just to show you the size, it can fit across my hand easily. You can connect the system to a cigarette lighter, which works, but if you want to use the parking mode feature, you'll need a more professional installation, connecting to a constant power source, because the cigarette lighter switches off when you turn off your car. Here's the suction cup mount, which sticks to the windshield. It will hold the camera, which simply snaps in. This one is without a GPS sensor, but you can get an optional cup with built-in GPS. Here is the adapter from USB Type-A to Type-C, just in case you need it. And they even included the trim removal tool, so you can hide all the cables inside the car. Very nice touch. On the camera side, you need to insert the optional micro SD card, which unfortunately is not included. or you can purchase it separately. I highly recommend 256GB, and for some reason VanTrue does not recommend the SanDisk card. My advice is to attach the suction cup somewhere in the middle of the windshield. But first, connect the power cable, stick it to the glass, and simply turn the lever from 9 to 12 o'clock. That's it. It just takes a few seconds. And the dashcam just snaps onto the holder. I actually like the fact that the cable is not inserted directly into the camera. Instead, it's inserted into the suction cup. So if you ever want to remove the camera, you won't need to mess with any cables. So for now, let's connect it to a cigarette lighter just to test it out. And let's see if it works. Yep, it works perfectly. The next step is to attach the rear camera. I'm not gonna do a full installation in this particular car, but I'll explain how to install it. Normally, I would hide the cable to the rear camera inside this headliner from the front all the way back. And here I would pull this USB cable through this existing rubber sleeve. So let's remove this red protective tape from the adhesive. You can conveniently tilt the camera based on the angle of your back window, so you have a clear rear view. Now let's connect this camera via this USB cable. And now let's attach it to the rear window. Just apply a little pressure on the double tape until it takes a firm hold. Let's put the cable to the front for right now, as we'll connect it to the front camera. Notice how my rear window is tinted, which can affect most cameras. But the good thing is we can adjust this camera exposure setting, which I'll show you how in a few minutes. So usually you would remove the headliner on this side and run the cable inside. But before I do a complete installation, I'd like to test it first, so we can see the quality. Now, the rear camera cable plugs straight into the front camera. As you can see, the whole setup is easy and straightforward. Many people recommend inserting the USB cable inside the headliner and then through the side pillar all the way down. But you must pay attention to the side airbags on some models, like this one. Or many people tell you to run it on the driver's side, but you have to be very careful, especially on models with the side airbags. Because once you run the cable down, all the way underneath to the kick panel, some models like this one are equipped with the knee airbag. So if you pull this cable inside this kick panel, an accident happens, it could obstruct your knee airbag from a proper deployment, creating lots of problems. Plus you have moving pedals on this side. So do not run any cables on the driver's side. What I suggest is to make your power connection right here in front of the sunroof. This lights management system has all kinds of power wires inside. I would open this panel to make a connection right here, but you'd need to get an optional wire cable instead of enclosed cigarette lighter adapter. And then I would run the cable for the rear camera inside the headliner all the way back. If you're not comfortable doing all that, you should seek a professional one-time installation service. So let's see where we are right now. I can see both cameras front and rear, but now we have a little problem because the rear camera is upside down and also it's completely misaligned. So let's tilt the camera angle. But as far as turning the camera upside down, we can change it later in the settings, as I'm about to show you. This dashcam has more settings than most other dashcams, but I don't want to take too much of your time, I'll just show you the most important ones. Both camera settings are organized into 3 categories: record, System, and Files. In the Record category, the most important setting is Resolution. Select front and rear and make sure to pick the highest possible resolution, 4K for the front and 1080p for the rear camera. There are many other settings that you can customize to your needs, but I want to mention the exposure setting, which you may want to tweak a few times to improve the dashcam clarity of the picture. As you already saw, my rear window has a dark tint, which could make the rear camera's recording slightly darker than I want. This setting lets you adjust the brightness of both cameras' footage, so you can increase or decrease exposure. But I recommend leaving it at 0 at first and then drive for a few days and then adjust it accordingly. Here is another basic setting: rotate display. Remember, I installed my rear camera upside down. So I pick the rear camera and select the on position to flip my camera horizontally. Now it looks perfect. Now let's go to the system category and you can customize tons of features here. But the most important is Wi-Fi. Select 5G and then connect this dashcam to your smartphone. Once connected, you can download all the video files and change all the settings from the convenience of your cell phone. And the third category is your files, divided into events, normal, photo, and all. Files with the same name are recorded simultaneously, but if it ends with the letter A, it means the file was recorded by the front camera. If it ends with letter B, it was recorded by the rear camera. Now you're watching the unedited footage from the front camera of this dashcam. And as you can see, I'm driving in the parking lot, and I must say it's pretty good quality for just a regular car dashcam. There is no shaking on the camera, which means it has very good stabilization, which is extremely important when you drive any car. Since this camera has a wide lens, it has decent coverage around the front of the car. As a result, you can see cars and people not only in the front, but also on the right and left side of the vehicle. I can clearly see the license plates of the vehicle in front of me, and I can read the name of the streets. And since it's recorded in 4K, I can zoom in on the objects, and the picture quality remains excellent. On the bottom, you can see the date and time, which is not accurate, by the way, because I forgot to change them. Another test I'd like to perform is so we can see how the front camera could handle the sunshine. To do that, I'm gonna drive against the sun. And as you can see, it handles the sun effortlessly. The built-in software neutralizes the sun on the screen, and it looks like a big white ball. But still, I can see the road clearly. While most regular cameras would be overexposed right now, this little dashcam manages this massive sunshine easily. And now, let's see how the rear camera works. This one has only 1080p resolution, but still offers superb quality. There is a car behind me, and I can clearly see the people inside the vehicle. I don't even have to zoom in. And I can also notice the license plate number. Perhaps I need to tilt the rear camera a little bit more downward. Now I'd like to test this dashcam at night to test the visibility in the dark. I can still see the streets and signs, the picture quality is pretty good, and I can easily see what's happening around me. But that should be expected from a high quality 4K camera. But what about the rear camera at night, which has a lower 1080p resolution? Let me switch to the rear camera. And I was surprised that even the rear camera performed very well at night. Notice the car pulling right behind me? I can clearly see the people inside that car and read their license plates in plain view. But let me go back to the front camera again. One thing I found interesting is my headlights are very bright. So when I drive at night, I can't really see the license plates of the car in front of me because my headlights are just too bright. Also, notice the street lights are overexposed. But the good thing, these can be fixed very quickly by reducing the camera's exposure. Remember in the settings I showed you where you can change the exposure? So when I get back home, I would need to reduce the exposure of the front camera just a little bit. And the last thing I want to try is to go on the freeway at night. And even here I have a very decent picture. I'm driving on this secluded mountain area. There is not much illumination, but still I can plainly see everything around me. It takes a couple of days to adjust all these camera settings, but from then on it's fully automated. You won't need to do anything else. The dashcam will work automatically on a daily basis based on your initial settings. One thing I didn't like about the front camera is it takes a lot of space, blocking the whole center of my windshield. There is not much space left. I'd like to try moving it to the left side all the way to the top. Now it doesn't take a lot of space and is installed very neatly. So now let's see how it will affect this new recording position. And as you can see, the camera's wide lens still gives you excellent coverage. So this dashcam system is a pretty good grade, especially when you get such high quality for such a low price. If you'd like to buy this dashcam system, the VanTrue company was kind enough to provide my viewers with an exclusive 17% discount code, MBZVAN15. You can use it if you decide to purchase at checkout. The link to buy it is below in the description area. And if you purchase via my link, I usually get a tiny commission to support this channel. And that brings me to a question of today. Do you think the dashcam is important for your car? Why or why not? Please leave your comment in the comment section below.